I say what ho, this is Brian. Call me that confounded bridge gardener, coming to you from Ramble on Towers Dungeon Studio in scenic Hasbro, Ontario. You are listening to Ramble on Radio, episode 75. Ramble on Radio is the only dedicated Led Zeppelin podcast on this or any other known internets. Be sure to go to rambleonradio.com for all your Led Zeppelin news and any links I might mention during the show. Take these things off. You can subscribe to Ramble on Radio through iTunes. If you go to iTunes, leave a review. It just helps them notice us and gets on the best of lists and stuff. Listen on Spreaker. Be sure to follow Ramble on Radio on. Be sure to follow Ramble on Radio at Spreaker too. Go to Spreaker. Don't just listen to it there. Actually, go if you don't have a membership. Sign up. Just sign. It doesn't take anything. But if you are on Spreaker, just like. You don't even have to listen to us there. Just like. The idea is you get 100 or more followers or likes. I think it's followers actually. You can apply for iHeartRadio, which puts this thing in front of thousands of people. So if you like it and you think more people should know about it, that's the way to help. And check out, and of course, tell all your friends, all your family. Link to it on Facebook on a regular basis, that sort of thing. Check it out on Ramble on Radio on YouTube. Follow Ramble on Radio on Facebook, Google+, and at Ramble on Blog on Twitter. Seat of the Pants Day today. If you're on YouTube, no, this is being recorded on video, and then we're going to move it over to audio. I'm trying it different this time. Hey, anybody out there, a Mac person, email me if you have a good way to do this. I'm so fed up trying to figure around with the video side of things. It just, nothing seems to want to work properly. So I'm trying it this way. I'm gonna just save this as an audio, and then, but it does mean I don't have a intro to talk to you about. And actually, it looks like the video and audio aren't synced, which is really annoying too. So I'm going to lower the screen on this so that I can't see it. Hopefully it's not that bad. But if it is, then the video doesn't come up. Now I'm worried that it should be working still, shouldn't it? It should be recording and all. Anyway. So this week there's really one thing to talk about. This and this. That would be, for those of you listening, instead of the 3 people who watch on YouTube. And there's a good reason, because I don't even know my left from my right on the video thing, apparently. I am holding up Led Zeppelin IV Deluxe Edition CD and Houses of the Holy Deluxe Edition CD, complete with little removable middle bit. Did you see? So there you go. And I'm going to leave that off. Inside, by the way, there's some pictures. I'm guessing, I'm trying to remember from last time. I'm guessing those pictures also appear in the booklet, but that's the actual middle of the album, as you recall. And then there's a couple of pictures on the fold-out side that weren't on the album. And there's a nice little booklet as well that walks you through everything you ever wanted to know, I suppose. And more pictures and a mini version of the book that's in the super deluxe. And here's Led Zeppelin IV, front, back. Open it up to reveal the guy, the hermit. And then open it up to reveal a couple of pictures of the era, and both pictures I've seen before. I think one is from Tampa. I think that the big one of them playing live, I'm showing it on YouTube right now, is from Tampa. And actually an interview out there right this minute on the Tampa radio station where they asked Jimmy Page about that. It's not a good interview. Jimmy does not like these guys. By the end of it, it was they're kind of a bit jokestery, and they came up with some stuff. I was thinking of trying to save some of it to use as my intro. But they specifically ask about, there's the remastered version of Stairway to Heaven, and they specifically say, and I quote, "So is Spirit going to sue you for that too?" Jimmy is not impressed with the question. Let's just leave it at that. He actually, it sounds like the interview's over. It's dead air for about 30 seconds. And they go, "I think he's gone." He goes, "No, I'm still here. I'm just waiting for you to ask a sensible question." And it actually goes, it was a pretty good interview right up until that minute. But they're clowning, right? Instead of talking, he likes to talk. Seriously, he doesn't like the. And they're actually, I used to like that sort of thing, but get older, it's just annoying. It's just, you know, try to be a little serious at some point. I mean, a funny line in there is one thing, but everything's gonna be clowning. And then they ask him about Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin experience, which Jimmy referred to continuously throughout the interview as Jason Bonham's O2 experience, which I guess tells you something what he thinks about it. But he's not impressed talking about that. And they ask if Jason is going to be part of his when he tours, when he records tours next year. They ask him about that, and they ask if Jason will be part of it. And right on the heels of it, and he's kind of going, no, he's got his own thing going on. And he doesn't sound like he's pleased about that side of things. And then they say, well, actually, he's playing with Sammy Hagar right now. I said, see, he's busy. See, he's busy. No, he wasn't playing with Sammy Hagar at one point, so that came along real sudden. So the man's looking for work. But he's not getting it from Jimmy Page. How do you like that? Okay, so they're in. The reissues are in. And let's face reality here. You either like or don't like the remix of the mastering. The mastering, these are the same albums we grew up with. These are the same albums we've had for years and years and years. And you either like the mastering or don't like the mastering. I do. I like the mastering on all of these. In that it's clean sounding and there's good, what they call separation between the instruments, which is to say you can kind of hear, this guitar versus that guitar. You can hear the bass kind of clearly. It's not just all of one sound, but you can, if you listen for it, you can separate the sounds out of it. So I have no problem. Some people, there's guys who are complete audiophiles who, are doing comparisons versus this remastering and that remaster and the other remastering. And I think I talked about it a bit with Led Zeppelin too, that my feeling was I would go for one of the classic remasterings instead of the LPs on these. But I got to tell you, these two sound really good. And look, these are I've bought the CDs. I've converted them to actually the MP3s are online early, and I got the MP3s early. So I did that so I would not be running out Wednesday to buy these, and then so I at least had a couple of listens to them before I sat and talked about them. But yeah, but I also ran out on the day, bought the CDs. By 10 in the morning, I had the CDs. So don't blame me too much for grabbing the early MP3 rips. And this is, honey, for Christmas, the box set of Led Zeppelin 4. That's all I need. That's it. Christmas is done. Done. Run out today. Go to Amazon and order it. It'll be here by then. If you live in Canada, by the way, that's an iffy. I'm in Canada. Boy, the box sets are slow coming. The Jimmy Page book is still not out up here. What's it been, a week and a half since it was released? Still not out up here. I'm going to see Jimmy Page in New York at the YMCA speak, do his book tour thingy, and I'm just going to buy the book when I'm in the States. I'm so PO'd with the Canadian book market that screw it, you're not getting my $70. I'll give it to the guys in the States who had the book on the day it was released. I'm not kidding. I was at the store Tuesday, which is a full week. That's a full 2 weeks after its release. Sorry, I think it was 2, and it's still not there. As far as I know, the Amazon orders are still not gone out, or have just gone out. Actually, I heard. If you're an Amazon.ca orderer, which I was until it wasn't ready on the day, and I said, "Screw you! I'll buy it in the store. Thanks very much. I'm not sitting around waiting for you to deliver it too." I don't pre-order it so I can get it 2 weeks later. I pre-order it so it shows up on the day, or quite often, I ordered another book, pre-ordered it, probably about 2 months ago now. It arrived over a week early. By the time of its release date, I was reviewing it on my other website, because I had read it all. Quite read it. So that's why you pre-order. Same goes with the box sets, right? So I canceled all those pre-orders. I canceled any pre-order I had, so but I do have this on CD, and they both sound great. So the first disc, the old disc, the recording that you and me both know ever so well, it sounds great. Don't don't worry about that. If you like the album, if you need a copy, I've got all these. These are nice little soft. So I'm just throwing them in my car. These are in my car. That's my car set. That's it. Um, and so by the end of it, I should have a good. My glove box will be full of Zeppelin. It'll never be. It'll never. What do you want to listen to? Got any Zeppelin? Open a glove box. Filed under L. The YouTube people can see Jimmy Page mug. Again, without, I'll take a drink. The bottom is supposed to have the JP logo in white on it. Came off the first day. And if I get a chance to interview Jimmy the next week, because he's being interviewed by everybody, right? Every little dick-ass radio station, every whatever. Jimmy Page is doing an interview with him. So why wouldn't he me? Well, apparently because he won't. I don't know. I don't know. They don't even answer my fucking emails. Don't even answer my email. That's what gets me. Really? He's doing interviews with those clowns on the Tampa radio station, but they don't even answer my emails. Boy, Don't complain you get shitty questions from these guys interviewing you who are just generalists, really. They're fans or not fans. This is what I do with my spare time, is the Led Zeppelin stuff, and you don't want to talk to me. So, I don't know. Anyway, so what we really want to talk about with these is the bonus material. The bonus material, because it's what's different, right? It's what's new. And now go to rambleonradio.com. I wrote a long piece. I wrote a 1,000-worder on it. That I actually felt was pretty good. Hey, oh, there's the book. Lost the book. I couldn't find my book because I already had it out. By the way, they do have the words for the Spirit Song Taurus on the inside. Working on getting a classical piece from the 1600s by a guitarist called Granados, by the way, which starts with the Stairway to Heaven. And I'm working on getting the music for it such that I can verify myself that the way it's recorded in this one particular recording is the way it was written. And if it is, it pretty much shoots to hell any suggestion that that's an original Randy California progression. Not that that's in much doubt anyway, but anyway, so here's disc 2 is Black Dog, basic track with guitar overdubs. You'll notice there's so little words, so tiny is the wording. I need my glasses. I'm okay without my glasses on a day in, day out basis, but to read writing this small, I couldn't even imagine trying. Rock and roll alternate mix. By alternate mix, the original is 3 minutes 40 seconds. The alternate mix is 3 minutes 40 seconds. So it's the exact same notes with the exact same 5 guys, right? Rolling Stones, Mobile, Headley Grange, Island number 2, London. So this was done in. This was mixed in Ireland. Okay. Because I thought all 7, except for When the Levee Breaks, were the Island mixes. Maybe he did a double mix in the Island. Battle of Evermore, guitar mix from Headley Grange. All instrumental, no vocals. And I'm going to get into that in a little more detail with Houses of the Holy, because there's something to say really there. But I'll get to it. I'll talk about it here too. Stairway to Heaven, Sunset Sound mix. Misty Mountain Hop, alternates mix. Four Sticks, alternates mix. Going to California, mandolin guitar mix. Again, instrumental. When the Levee Breaks, alternate UK mix. So here's what happened. They went to Sunset Sound Studios in LA with the master tapes and mixed everything down to stereo album, right? So you got the 24-track masters, you mix it down to a stereo album. They brought it away. Sunset Sound Studios was the top-of-the-art studios in 1971. They brought it back to Island Studios. Island, not Ireland, by the way. Island. Sounds like I'm saying one or the other. As in Island Records, right? It was a Caribbean label, wasn't it? It was Bob Marley's label, I think, Island. But anyway, they brought it back to Island Studios, put it on, and it sounded awful. It sounded muddy, sounded very... the thinking is this far down the road that the Island Studios could not handle, the setup could not actually handle the high quality sound output from the Sunset Sound Studios. That it was too good, too good a mix or too good a taping, and it was meant for the super high end that nobody had in their home, and so. But nowadays, of course, we all have it in our friggin' phones, right? Um, so they remixed. So they got hunkered into Island Studios and remixed. And what you got as an album in 1971, or in my case, in about 1976, or 1992, whatever, you went and bought the vinyl album and the CD or MP3s, or stole the MP3s off Napster. You got the Island Studio mixes, except for When the Levee Breaks. When the Levee Breaks was from the Sunset Sound mix. Sunset Sound Studios, yeah, that's right. So this is what you're getting here, right? Stairway to Heaven is the Sunset Sound mix. It's the mix that failed, that didn't work. So it's very close to what you know. It's very close. There's differences that I think I hear, and I've heard some people say this and some people say that. But at the end of the day, they're the kind of differences that if you play it on this sound system to that sound system, you may hear the difference. You know what I mean? It's, sometimes when you move it from your car to your house to your MP3 player, you hear differences. And some things, just by changing the mixer on your a little more treble here, and it sounds like there's more recorders going on. And that's kind of what it sounds like. The recorders are up in the mix, or the recorder, depending who you talk to, the recorders are down in the mix, the solos and so on. But you got to remember, when he was back in Island Studios, he was trying to recreate the sound he got at Sunset. So yeah, it's a couple of weeks later, so your ears are different on a different day, and you'll never get it exactly right. But he was aiming for exactly right, and so it's very close. It's very close. Same goes for When the Levee Breaks. Is an interesting difference because the great drum sound really is kind of tamped down a bit from what it was in the original, from the Sunset Sound. That great big boom and drum sound really isn't there on this. That's kind of I prefer. But if they released this mix of Stairway to Heaven as the original, I think dumb dog. Yeah, it's just the mail. I don't think anybody would. I don't think it's not like Stairway to Heaven never would have been the song it is. It never would have been a big hit. I don't think it would have made a difference one way or the other. When the Levee Breaks, on the other hand, I think it would have made the kind of legend it has now. And you gotta understand, back in the 70s, people didn't think When the Levee Breaks was this phenomenal piece that people now think. It was really through the 90s the legend of When the Levee Breaks seemed to grow. The big drum sound. And I guess as they studioed drum sounds more, as they sampled drum sounds. For those who don't know, they have samples of like cannons, right? And then they mic the drums nowadays. Every drum is mic'd and isolated. So then they can take that one particular, so the bass drum it's not just it all came into one, they mix it in the board, but as they're recording it, there's a track for every single drum. And then they put on, for every bounce they put in like this cannon sound. So the drum doesn't sound like a drum, it sounds like a cannon. That's a regular kind of so drums don't even sound properly like drums anymore. Back in the day when drums sounded, then they were doing a good job in a lot of the 70s getting drum sounds and whatnot. They were fussing about that sort of thing. Good acoustic drum sounds. So When the Levee Break wasn't considered an outstanding song. It was just a song. Yes, it had a good drum sound. Yes, people talked about that's a really loud, but experts talked about, musicians talked about it. You didn't hear about it just hanging around the school, but when you talked with some guy who was in the business, they would mention that. It was so, the legend of When the Levee Break has grown over the years, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm not so sure it would have if this was the mix. And if we were hearing for the first time today the mix that they have on the original album of When the Levee Breaks, that would make this, you'd be going, oh my God. Oh my God. That's what would be happening with this. That would be the standout of of this. As it is, it's just an interesting to hear the difference, how it comes across different. Okay, so Black Dog is alternate mix, basic track with guitar overdubs. It's got Robert singing. It's got Robert doing a different outro, a different ad-lib in the outro. So I guess a different vocal line altogether. And it's also got him adding in a harmony vocal at the ahs. And it really sounds like it's an experiment, I guess. It's, let's try this. And you do that stuff, and it sounds like the guys beside you at the concert singing along, is what it sounds like. It's not an effective effect. It doesn't mean you don't try it. It doesn't mean you don't release it in this circumstance. Rock and Roll is another. It's an alternate mix. It was done at the it was done at Island number 2 in London. So it's from the mixes that gave us the album and gave us the actual track that we know. And it's there's very little difference, you know. I think the drums are down in the mix. I think they may have, when they did it, said, you know what, want a little more drums in this, and that's why they remixed it maybe. But I think the drums are back in the mix a little, and the lead guitar is up in the mix a little, which makes it interesting for us guitar geeks. I don't know much else, but you know, like if I played it for my wife, she'd never notice the difference. I guess that's the point, right? For me, I might sit and hear that. For her, she'd never notice. Oh, is that different? Battle of Evermore is strictly instrumental, and it's interesting because they're moving it around a bit, but Battle of Evermore is still, musically speaking, kind of a verse chorus song. Verse chorus bridge, verse chorus bridge. I think. I mean, it's got a couple of sections in it, but it's not a fluid song that moves on. So at the end of the day, at first it's interesting, and then it kind of it doesn't stay interesting. It gets a little mundane, I guess, is the point. Nothing wrong with it. I liked it. I like listening to it. But it's, unto itself, it's not outstanding. You know, it needs the melody line, it needs the vocals. And the interplay between, now, if you're in a Led Zeppelin tribute band, it's going to be immensely helpful. But, you know, without the interplay of the two voices, it loses something as a song. Which is interesting to hear, by the way. It is, again, not worthless, but not something you're going to play in the car, right? You know, on a long drive, you don't throw, let's listen to the instrumental version of Battle of Evermore. Stairway to Heaven, we've talked about. Misty Mountain Hop. I have no idea what the difference is between this one. It's just an alternate mix. I think it's brighter. I'm trying to remember. I didn't note much on this. I think it's brighter, and I think the lead guitar really shines through. I think it's the thing that really, it's almost a muddy lead guitar sound that he has in the original release, the original mix. And this is a much cleaner guitar sound. Yeah, that's the two things I noticed about it. Four Sticks alternate mix I really liked. It really brings the song. I don't know what it is exactly, but it really brings the song out. It's got a count in. It's in 6, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. They do. I think it is. Bonham does a counting. Yeah, it really jumps out at you a bit more. Going to California is another instrumental, and it doesn't. Again, same kind of deal. It's not. It's not bad. It's not worthless. It's just not something you're gonna spend a lot of time on, unless you're learning the song on guitar, mandolin. And When the Levee Breaks, we already talked about. So that's what comes out of Led Zeppelin 4. Holding it up again for the YouTubers. Led Zeppelin 4. The alternate mixes the deluxe edition material, the bonus material. Led Zeppelin 4. Possibly the greatest rock and roll album of all time. Although what you'll find on a group like this is, it's not everybody's favorite album, but it may be the greatest nonetheless. It's such an outstanding album, and it does almost everything well. Okay, so Houses of the Holy. This is, for the record, my least favorite of the Zeppelin catalog. My least favorite of the Zeppelin catalog. For 3 reasons. I do not like the vocals, and the song remains the same. And I think it really ruins it. It took me years to get to like the song remains the same. I grow very weary of Jamaica. Now, nothing wrong with Jamaica. It's a fun little song. It's not, it's Hot Dog, or it's The Crunch, or it's... They had their share of fun little songs, and it's nothing wrong. Except, around here anyway, for years and years and years, and I don't know if they still do as much. It was the default Zeppelin song on the radio. You'd hear, oh, we're going to play some Zeppelin, and Jamaica would be, 1/3 of the time, 1/4 of the time would be Jamaica. So I've heard it a million times, just driving down the road, and it's not that good a song, and it doesn't deserve the attention it gets on this album. And so I've wearied of that song. If I never hear Jamaica again, good enough for me, is what it boils down to. The other thing, I'm not nuts on the version of the Rain song on this either. Whether it's Plant's vocals or the more acoustic guitars, I'm not sure, but it doesn't do it for me. And even No Quarter, I find not second on how it's mixed in this album. Now, on the other hand, Over the Hills Far Away, Dancing Days, and The Ocean are excellent songs. Love them all. And Houses of the Holy came off this, which is another song I love. So it's not my favorite of it's my least favorite of the Zeppelin albums. Let's put it that way. It's still better than anything by Megadeth or something like that. I don't know. It's still better than AC/DC's Back in Black. Let's put it that way. Huh? There we go. There's the main cover. See the if you're on YouTube right now, I'm really playing to the camera. Did you see the scarves? Paul Smith, I think, is the designer. Jimmy was there. They have 5 different scarves, $700 per scarf. My wife said, and I've been into a scarf kick this fall. My wife says, you and your scarves. I don't want a $700 scarf. I would never wear. Where would you wear? So, even if, let's say we're going to the Christmas party. So I'm dressed to the nines. I throw on my good coat. I throw on my suit. I got the good shoes. I've shaved. Put a little polish on the top of the head. And then I put on my $700 scarf. You get there. And what happens? You take off your coat and your scarf. You give it to the girl at the coat check. Wait a minute. The scarf is worth more than the coat, the suit, the shoes put together. But I'm handing it to the coat check girl, who I'm going to give $2 to. I was going to say a toonie, which is Canadian for $2. Are you joking? So when would you wear it? What, am I going to work to the mall? Wear it times, places where you'd never take it off? Where? Where am I doing that? I work at a freaking car factory. I'm not Jimmy Page, who goes to interviews dressed like that. No, I know. I'd wear it to the Y next Monday. To the 92nd Street Y. Yeah, so, like I said, my hope is that they do, like they did with Jimmy's book, 2 years from now, they're doing a downscale version of these scarves. Maybe something we can get for $75. A printed silk instead of a patterned, these are woven scarves, right? This is actually woven into the scarf. So yeah, maybe a printed silk or something like that's coming down the road. That would be nice. I would love to have, and I'm thinking the Houses of the Holy, because it's on the album covers, right? I think they used the blue one though. I think they used that side. That's where I got to that with this. Would probably be a good one as a scarf, right? Because a scarf isn't just the picture; it's the colors that come out when you fold it all up. And I'm thinking that would be a good one. That's one of the scarves, is the Houses of the Holy cover. Anyway, nice little sideshow. Paul Smith, I believe, is the designer. If you search for Jimmy Page scarves or Led Zeppelin scarves, you will find the scarves. You can go fork over $700 and get yourself a scarf. If you want to fork over $1,400, I will send you my address happily. Okay, so Houses of the Holy, we know, again, so I had my say about. However, that was the other thing. Not my favorite Led Zeppelin. Don't like this mix, don't like that mix, blah, 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 blah. However, on this particular mix, this particular edition, absolutely loved it. Really, really jumped out at me. Really liked how it sounds. Really liked it a lot. Really an improvement on the sound, on the groove of the songs. I really like this. This is so far of all the ones, this is the one I'm liking the most in terms of the improvement level. And maybe because I feel there's room to improve on it, but I really liked what he did with this, and I really like the bonus material. And I want to get into that. Any idea how long I've been doing this? 30 minutes already. Holy jumping! You know, I last week I did the video on my wife's iPad, and I've been trying to upload it for like 5 days. It took forever. And she says to me, she knows I do the podcast, and she knows that she knew that I did it this way. But she's looking, she goes, "You really do 45 minutes? Yeah, what'd you talk about?" I don't even remember. 45 minutes? Yeah, it's easy. I'm shocked how easy it is some days to just blow through 45 minutes of talking. I'm out of coffee. Look at me out of coffee. All right. Bonus material on Houses of the Holy. Now, I mentioned last time, by last time I mean 2 minutes ago, on Led Zeppelin IV, the instrumental material is interesting, but doesn't keep your attention for the full 5 minutes or whatever it is. In 1971 to 72, that you got to remember the timeline. They went off, they did the first album, they did the second album. Third one, they went off and actually wrote an album. Fourth one, they kind of wrote on the road, wrote back. They did the same routine. It took a little longer to get to. The fifth one, by this Jimmy Page put some studio in his house and stuff. So they were actually now. What happens in this one, the fifth one, House of the Holy, is they have composed songs and so the songs are we're no longer into verse chorus bridge verse chorus. In the crunge, that's literally true. There's no bridge. I couldn't talk about the crunch because I was listening to it the other day and realized a bunch of stuff about it. And probably stuff that everybody's going to go, duh. But I had no idea. One of those light went off moments. Okay, so we'll get there. We'll finish with the crunch. How's that? So this starts with the song remains the same, instrumental. It's called Guitar Overdub Reference Mix, which means probably that Jimmy took it home, or Robert took it home to write the words. By reference mix, that's probably what that means. It's 5 minutes, 30 seconds. It's interesting from note 1 to note 530, or whatever, to second 530. It's interesting. It's a fully developed song without the lyrics. It's more like a composition than a written song. You write a song, but you compose music. And it's more like a composition. This is fully developed. The guitars move. Everything changes constantly. You get 20 seconds of something, and then you get into something else. And yes, they go back and repeat sections, but they don't do it in a consistent manner. They don't do it the same every time. They don't do it 3 times for this section, 4 times for that section, plus a bridge. They repeat a section maybe once, and then they come out of it to something different. Then they repeat a different section, and so it never repeats itself fully. Yes, you get this 30-second section twice, maybe 3 times, but it always resolves itself into a different area. It's a full piece. You could put that on, play it. That's a classical music piece almost, or that's an instrumental piece. It works. And it is not, by the way, hampered by the lyrics, Robert. It's not like, boy, Plant really ruined that piece. And now, it was originally thought of as, it was going to be called Overture. It was originally thought of as an instrumental piece. So it's not that, that doesn't make some sense, but you're seeing here fully developed musical ideas with lyrics added after. And that's different, and that's a game changer in a lot of ways in music. Now I love the song remains the same. but it was when I saw Page and Plant and they played it that I kind of went, wow, I really do like that. Before that, this version has always not liked it. It's the vocals, and I'm not alone in that one. They're sped up or something, and chipmunky, and it drives me nuts to listen to it. But I always loved the song. I mean, it's the same. The movie, the movie. I always loved that, but never really noticed, and now the Icy performance, though, I just love it. There's so much going on there musically. It's such a fascinating song. But this, I would take, this is how it should have been on the album. This is how it should have been. Moves into the Rain song. Again, the Rain song it says minus piano. It was released a while ago. There's Mellotron and stuff in there. I don't know. It's one of those, I'm not so sure if I hear much of the difference. But there's a couple of those on here, and I've had some tweets from Daryl, who's kind of pointed out the difference in, I think, Dancing Days, and I'm going to have to A-B them to really tell, right? I'm going to have to do the original, the new, the original. Okay, now sometimes that's what it takes. But the Rain song at 7:43 is 4 seconds longer than the Rain song on the album, 7:45, so it's 6 seconds longer. But other than that, I don't even know what to tell you. But it's just a slightly different mix. Over the Hills and Far Away is instrumental. Again, it sounds great. It's a fully developed piece of music. Now, it has some issues with repetitiveness. The way the song remains the same doesn't, but it's not anywhere near like the earlier stuff with the repetitiveness and that. It's there, but it's not... it works as a fully developed piece of music on its own. It's fabulous sounding. I love this. And the solo is really brought up. You can really hear the solo. I don't know if it's a different solo. They're calling it Guitar Mix backing track. By the way, it's 30 seconds shorter than the original too. I would have to A-B the guitar solo. But it's close. But I don't know if it's a different recording of it. But it's really brought up. You really hear it a lot better. The crunge I'm skipping by. Nothing phenomenal in the mix of the crunge. They're calling it rough mix, keys up. And that may be true. Again, you'd have to A-B it. You'd have to go the Dancing Days, same thing. I need to A-B it, but I will tell you that I got the tweets from Daryl. Let me roll through my tweets from Daryl on this subjects. Dancing Days, rough mix, better than the album, much fuller, big bass. And that, again, may be true. But I found this mix of the album, to be fuller, bigger bass. Like I said before, I like the sound of the album itself, the original disc on this set. So I would have to go this set, Dancing Days. And I'm going to do that in the next couple of weeks. I'm definitely going to try and get that done. And also, The Ocean, he says, alternate guitar tracks added around 140 mark, adding a grungy feel. And that may be so. And again, there may be some alternate guitar tracks in the Over the Hills and Far Away. I'm not sure. But it's a working mix. It's a working mix they call The Ocean. And they call it a rough mix with vocal on Dancing Days. But they both sound really good, really lively, really nice mixes, really... and No Quarter is no vocals, rough mix with keyboard overdubs. And again, it's a comprehensive musical piece without the vocals. It works really, really well. It's 7 minutes long, and you don't go, holy fuck, is this guy ever going to end? Where's the words? It just doesn't do that. And that's key point. When you're doing a 7-minute song, even with lyrics, it better be interesting all around. It better not just be funky lyrics. You can do that in 3 minutes. It is the same length, 7:02 versus 7:03, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But it is a very so the instrumental pieces in this, and it shows the development of the musicians, of the writing going on within the musicians. Is phenomenal. All three of them, all three of the instrumental pieces are great unto their own self. They really work well as their own song. And the vocals in each case added to them. That's if you look at Jimmy Page's solo work, for instance, if you look at Outrider, that's the big problem. Fairly interesting music, good music. And probably, I'm not going to say comprehensive songs into themselves, like I've said here, because I haven't done that math. I haven't checked it out that way. But all of them butchered by bad vocal performances or worst case scenario, bad lyrical performances. The same goes a bit for Coverdale Page. Some interesting stuff there, but Coverdale really isn't an interesting lyricist. And so that the thing that Plant brought to the band at this time, on top of his singing, don't get me wrong, and something I've grown to realize later in life is his phenomenal harmonica playing. He really added some harmonica over the course of the time. When the levee breaks, there's just Physical Graffiti. There's 3 or 4 times when he uses, but how often the harmonica actually comes in here, and he's quite a good harp player. But what he's really adding at this stage is he's able to play with these guys who are making this phenomenal music, and he's able to add lyrics and he may be embarrassed by some of his lyrics. He may think his lyrics are whatever juvenile, but they're interesting enough to keep this music to belong with this music and to add to what they're doing. And that's the real magic of this album. But I would almost say disc 2. This is other than the first album, which has the live Reno. So we're kind of excluding that from the bonus material because it was a complete live set, right? And I got a friend at work who every time I see him, he wants to talk Zeppelin. I asked him if he was buying these things, and he says, "Nah, I got those albums already." And he heard the song remains the same, and he said, "Did you hear this? It's amazing." I says, "Yeah, it's on the bonus materials." He goes, maybe I gotta get those. Maybe I gotta get those. I'm going, look, they're $12 at the store. Go buy the damn things. The first one's got a live show you've never heard before. They got a new song on the third one. Go buy them. $12. Buy one a week for the next 5 weeks. Put it down. Here's your Christmas list. Tell your family, this is what I want. Figure out who's buying what. I'm easy, right? But anyway, so people are noticing, as what I'm saying. He was very dismissive of this idea of getting the remastered albums until he heard the song remains the same instrumental, and he went, "Wow, blown away by that." Okay, so I'm going to finish off with the crunge. Did I notice any difference? No, except that I noticed stuff in the crunge. It's interesting. For one, the bit about the bridge is fairly well known, I think. Has anybody seen the bridge and stuff? This is a 70s soul type song, which kind of famously amongst musicians and whatnot there is no bridge, there is no verse chorus. It's basically a groove, and you keep the groove going for 3 minutes, and you sing over it. And if you notice, there's a change, but there's no verse chorus. It's kind of like a verse with a little ending, verse with a little ending, verse with a little ending at the end of the line. And they just keep the same thing rolling over and over and over. And that's what these songs do. And so when he's talking about finding the bridge, he's literally talking about there's no bridge, nothing changes. It's the song. So that's the joke of the bridge. But you start, and where did I notice it? Some other man that ain't gonna call me Mr. Pitiful. No, I don't need no respect from nobody. No, those are Mr. Pitiful and Respect are Otis Redding songs. And I got listen to it. I realized he's coupling together. And I don't have them. I'm going to do this at some point. I'm going to sit down with the old Google, spend an hour, and figure it all out. But he's actually comping together lines from songs in there, from the soul type songs, right? Some of the Otis Redding, from James Brown, that sort of thing. That's what he's doing. So when you hear stuff like, I ain't going to tell you where she comes from. If I tell you, you won't come again. Those are likely lines from songs. So you go, what is he singing about? Well, he's just riffing off lines from songs. She's the kind of girl that makes me feel the whole world. She's the kind of girl that makes me jump and shout. Yeah, baby, jump and shout. You know, she's the kind of girl. Let me know what it's all about. Those sound like song lines. So, and if anybody's ever done it, let me know. If everybody sees on the internet somebody's done it. But I do think I'm gonna try and piece together every song he's referencing in there, because I think he's doing quite a bit. I think that's the whole of the vocal part, is him referencing songs. And maybe you may all be sitting at home going, duh. I only just noticed. I had the little light bulb moment. So there you go. But anyway, Zeppelin IV, Houses of the Holy, the remasters, come with a big recommendation sticker from me. A couple of weeks back, Robert had said in an interview, there was nothing, I forget what it was, nothing groundbreaking, nothing revelatory in the remasters. And I kind of agreed to. Up until that point, I thought, other than the first album, the caveats of all caveats, I guess, I kind of agreed with that assessment, that really what's there. And having heard Black Dog, it was just kind of. But actually, especially House of the Holy, really is a revelation. Really is. I now disagree with them. Which means, 75 podcasts, and we're now at 70, in which I disagree with Robert on something. Sorry, Robert. But yeah, no, I would disagree with that assessment based on Houses of the Holy. Houses of the Holy really brings something to the table in the remixes and the remasters. And magically leaves Jamaica off. That's the added bonus. 7 songs, no Jamaica, so you get the instrumental versions. I would almost say I would take the Rain song, move it to vocals over, or not the Rain song, sorry, No Quarter, move the vocals, because I like the vocals in No Quarter. Move that over. Move over, no. Yeah, let's do that. And call it, I'll listen to that before I listen to the other one. But Over the Hills So Far Away, I could use the vocals too. But I don't want to really move 2 songs over, because then it's not really, But yeah, I may find myself listening to the second CD more than I do the first one on this. That's how much I'm really, really enjoying the bonus material. Really, it has been the best so far. Okay, so next week, I will be in New York City Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to be at the Jimmy Page Speak. So I will be talking about the book, what Jimmy says, etc., etc., etc. I will try to take notes when I'm there, but who knows what they allow? And these, Jimmy's fussy. Are they going to allow me to take a notepad in? They're going to allow a camera in? I don't know. I have to ask these things, I guess. I'm going to go up the day of and ask some questions. Except I'm only in New York for a day. I don't want to be pissing around going over to there, But I got to do what I got to do, I guess. Maybe I'll email them before I leave. What was I saying? Okay, so that's going to be next week. Next week's going to be Jimmy, the book, the talk. If magically they email me the next couple of days, say, yeah, you can have that interview, then it'll be the interview, and we'll push back the talk and whatnot to the next week after. But don't expect. I have no expectation of that. I really don't. Even if he's talking to just about everybody except me, whatever. It's not going to happen. I don't think. But I kind of have I admit I kind of have my fingers crossed, and I'm kind of watching my email closely the last couple of days, just in case. Anyway, that's it for Ramble on Radio, episode number 75. Thank you for listening. Check rambleonradio.com for notes on this week's podcast, Led Zeppelin news, reviews, any links I mentioned in today's podcast, which I don't actually do anymore. I don't know why I say that. I don't even link to the podcast on the blog anymore. I don't know why. Yeah, I gotta start doing that. Follow Ramble on Radio on Facebook, Google+, and at Ramble on Blog on Twitter. You can subscribe to Ramble on Radio through iTunes. If you go to iTunes, leave a review. Listen on Spreaker. Be sure to follow Ramble on Radio on Spreaker. Watch it on YouTube. At Ramble on Radio. I'm on YouTube at Ramble on Radio. And thanks for listening to Ramble on Radio, episode 75. Keep it coolin', babies.